Hello guys, it's me, the Guide Knight, and welcome to part 3 of my Godot tutorial of this endless runner game, where we play this ninja girl that runs along those pipes. In the last episode, we added this parallax background and made the girl jump, but there is nothing else. Also, you see that there is actually no fall animation, no glide animation, and overall the pipes are very much the same for now. So in this episode we'll add the different animations for our player and also maybe add some more pipes. So that's what you can expect from this episode, guys. So let's go to our player and add some additional animations that we can use, like glide and also maybe jump. And I also add that animation, right? Glide, jump, or die. If we want to like keep on using the verbs. And let me see if I have missed anything. I think that's it actually. So let me just go ahead and add those animations by going to the assets, and under player there should be that. Okay, maybe let's make it let me just play it currently. Okay, the glide will be here. Let me play it as well to see if it works. Okay, for now nothing happens. Why nothing happens? Okay, it's very subtle. That seems okay. The idle we have, the jump we don't have. For the jump, I will actually probably use only one of those, because if I add this, it's like, let me just play the jump and you see what I mean. 10 frames per second. Basically, she's like jumping over something, and it's mostly like 2-3 frames. Like this is the initial frame, and then there is this glide frame that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames, and then there are step frames. So I would just basically have only this thing for the jump. Okay, maybe this is different. I don't know which one I prefer. I don't know, let's keep this one. Okay, so now we can go to our player and make sure we, in our animate player, we animate the player correctly, right? But for this, in order to do this, I would prefer to have some states for my player. And I will use an enumeration. It's basically several constants that are assigned to numbers or integers, and it looks like this. I can just use enum and define this enumeration here, and I'll have idle, I'll have run, I'll have jump, I'll have glide. Then maybe for jump and fall I'll use the same, so I won't have fall, and I'll have that or die or that, just that. Maybe I will rename the animation here as well to that, to be consistent. All right. So we have our enumerations here, but we need the state for it for them to be usable. So just define like var player state, or I can just call it state because we are inside the player script, and it will be idle. This will be the initial state of our player. And now in the animate player, I can simply check the state we are currently in, and I can animate it. Like if we're in the dead state, I'll just animate sprite, animated sprite, play that, right? And also maybe return, because I don't want to have anything else, like any other interactions, maybe move, flip, or whatever. If I die, we die. That's it. If it's jump, then basically I'll just copy this and it's just jump. If it is glide, we'll have the glide animation playing, right? If it's run, we'll have the run animation playing. And if it's yeah, I think that's we have like idle, run, jump, glide, that. We don't have an idle animation, right? Idle. And also I forgot the column here and there and here. How convenient, right? Okay, play the idle animation. So in this case, I don't need to actually animate here, but I would just instead state like state. This was like idle. State is idle. And here state is run. Just to check if things work, right? What is the problem here? State is run, state is idle. Okay. Deleted the wrong letter. All right, so now it's the same as before, but with a little bit different logic. So let me just change this to idle and stop playing it because it's distracting. We have a little bit of a different logic, right? But we basically need to determine when we do those stuff, right? So we can actually check if we are in the air, like if we're maybe the y velocity is not 0. So if the y velocity is if x and y equals 0, then it's idle. If only x is 0, or maybe let's just check if y is not 0, then we are in state equals jump, right? And else we are in the state equals run, because we have y is not changing, and maybe we can be on floor and not is on floor, right? Because we don't want to accidentally jump in the middle of the air. Okay, so now we have the jump animation. But see, something happens here. What's happening? There is a small glitch that I would like to understand why it's coming. Like the jump, if I do like 1 frame per second, right? That. Okay, it probably is changing the. Ah, yeah. At one point we reach 0, right? In the air, because we're going up, and then we're reaching a velocity of 0, and then we're going down. In this small frame, we are actually changing the state to idle. So I will just add here and is on floor, so that maybe I will just remove the y. So yeah, it works now better. Basically, if we are on the floor and we're not moving, we are idle. And if we are not on the floor, regardless of the y, basically we're jumping. And if we're on the floor but we're not stationary, we are running, right? So that's nice, but I would also like to add the glide animation, right? So let's add that, but for this I would need to have like max glide speed, maybe constant. Make it like constant. This also be constant. Max speed and max glide speed. Maybe max fall speed. It will be a little bit higher than our movement speed, and max glide speed. It will be max fall speed. Maybe divided by 3. I don't know. Let's see how this works, right? And here I will just change the max speed for the Y velocity customization to max fall speed, and the max glide speed I will just. But how do you think we should invoke the gliding, right? Maybe I was thinking that maybe we can, when we press jump in the middle of the air, we basically start to glide, right? So maybe this is something we can do. So let's say how we can do this, right? First of all, we need to actually move into the glide state. And we are here, right, in this is on floor. And here we can actually check if velocity y is greater than 0. So we are falling, right? Greater than 0 means that it's going down for the y direction, and minus is going up. So we are falling. And only if we are falling, we can check if our input is basically jump, right? And input is action pressed jump. So then the state will be glide. Else the state will be jump, right? So this means that when we're falling and we're still pressing the jump button, not just pressed, I will keep it constantly, so action pressed, then we are entering the glide, and otherwise we will enter the jump state. So let's see if this actually helps. Yeah, but this doesn't really change our y velocity, right? So let's do that. So now actually make the jump impulse a little bit bigger, maybe 1, 1, 0, 0 for now. And here, where we actually determine the max speed, I will I'll add a check here maybe. If state equals glide, and maybe pass, and then else, and this is the normal state where we jump, right, where we fall, and the state is not glide. In this case, I will just do the same, but with the max glide speed, right? We can do this in other ways, but I guess this is enough. So let's see, now I can jump, and if I jump and don't glide, I fall faster. But if I jump and glide, I actually fall slower, and that's nice. There's one more thing that a little bit bothers me, is that our player is behind the pipes. So in order to, this is actually a very easy fix. I will just move our player before the tile map here, and now it should they should be in front of the pipes. I guess not also ideal, but I prefer the player to be in front of the pipes and not behind them. Maybe one, maybe it should be on top, or I don't know, but whatever. Okay, so let's add some more tiles to this tile map, and maybe make a normal level that we can later on use. Let's go to the pipes here, and I will then which pipes do I just copy it basically by clicking Ctrl D. I can copy it and rename it, and have another thing here, and then move it. By the way, if you want to move only this and not select any of the children, so if I right now move it with this thing, I will move it, but maybe I can just maybe I just move this, and this is the collision shape. I don't want to have that, so I'll just click here. This makes sure the object's children are not selectable. So in that case, if I want to select anything else, I actually only can select the parent. So with Q I select, with W I move. So yeah. Okay, so what let me just make like horizontal both. I'll just call them names, and maybe you will find out why in a later episode. But for now, I will just use that. So I would like to have maybe those 4, so that I can like move up and then move down and so on. And I think that's, and maybe also the up pipes. Maybe this one, or This one, I don't know. Maybe I'll just add this one for now. Okay, so first let me just add this one. And I can just call it vertical both. This means that it has a vertical ending on both sides. And now I want to actually go to the collision shape and make sure I change it. But see, there is something weird that I actually, because I copied it, it's actually changing the other shape as well. So I may delete that and add another collision shape that is the same type, but it's not copied. So and I will make sure I have the correct size by clicking the rectangular and then typing 6 and 16. So I have those two, and I would like to have like several more, right? For those, I would like to have basically those 4. They are a little bit trickier to do, and we're not actually gonna use a collision shape 2D. We're actually going to use something called collision polygon 2D. And the collision polygon 2D works by clicking around and drawing your collision shape yourself, right? So I can do this, and I have this collision shape for this polygon, but my snapping is way too high, so I actually will change it to 4 by 4 pixels. I think this should be enough. Let me check if it actually is enough. And I can, once I have selected them, I can move them around. But this looks a little... Okay, I will deselect this so that I can select the collision shape, and I can make new vertices, so to say. But it's not really what I want, right? Because I would like it to have it here, but it's somehow not there. So let me check if I can actually grid offset. If I change the grid offset by 2 pixels, what will happen? Because it seems like we are... Okay, here I'm on the correct line, and here as well. But here, it seems like I need to only change the grid offset to 2 pixels in the y dimension, right? So let me try to do this. Maybe this will work. So I have something which doesn't really work for the horizontal stuff. Okay, let me see what I can do. And that is probably I can manually click here and change. Like this is number 6. So I would like number 6 to be on the X a little bit, maybe -2. Or maybe 0. Okay, -6 maybe. Okay, I would like to keep it at -6. This is number 5. So a little bit tedious, I would say. This number 4, I'll make it 6, and this is number 3, also 6. I'm just basically manually changing those values. I wonder if I actually need like 2 points. Maybe I can just delete this point by clicking right-clicking it, and then I can make it -4. No. Wait, this is number 6 now, and I need it to be -6, right? Maybe it will work, maybe it won't. So I'll move this a little bit higher. Number 3, so that's 6 in the X. Okay, maybe 4. No, I actually need it to be 6, right? But the Y is wrong, right? So 8 maybe. No, 6. Maybe, and 1 should be -6. Okay, so this is remotely what I want. Maybe I don't even need that, but I'll keep it. And now rename this like, this is from the left side to the bottom, right? So left bottom curve, left bottom. And I can, fortunately I can actually copy that. And maybe I can rotate it. Let me check if I can do that actually. Transform, rotation 90 degrees. So, yep. And I will, this is now left to upper side. So left to upper side. So here. And that's why, at least fortunately, I don't need to actually, let me press Control. I don't need to make it again. So I did it once, and this should be enough. So I can now rename this to curve left top. And then I'll duplicate it twice more. I'll place it here. Maybe I'll change my grid snap again to something bigger, like 8 by 8 pixels. So it's easier to move around stuff. And I will rotate this again. Let me go here, go to transform, rotate it by 180 degrees. And this is now curve top right. Just the name of the object, basically, of the sprite. Later on I can identify the object in the code with this name, so that's why, if you're wondering why I'm doing that. And basically top right is here, and one more, it will be basically the last one is basically bottom and then right, and bottom right will be this one, and I need to rotate here by 270 degrees. And am I actually on the same? Okay, I think I'm on the same level. Okay, so let me save that and convert this to a tile set. I can probably replace this, or maybe call it named pipes, and remove the pipes entirely, because so probably we won't need it anymore. Just delete it and go to our world. And now I can select our tile map and drag and drop the named pipes here. And now we have some more options, right? And you can actually now do some sort of an actual looking level that you can, like, I don't know. You can basically do it manually. And so that it looks a little bit better than it was before, but still it's not really very nice, right? So let me just go ahead and select those. Then I can manually do this. I can delete those by clicking right click. And yeah, so we have this kind of level now. And I can glide, and yeah. So guys, I hope you did enjoy this part. In the next level, in the next episode, we will probably do our first endless auto generation of the tiles, and basically it will be probably just a horizontal path that never ends. So stay tuned for that, and make sure to leave me a comment, leave me a like if you like, and if you don't like, you can also leave me a dislike. It's a free world, so you're free to do whatever you want, guys, because you're awesome. And remember to remember it. Bye bye.